Hello, I want to talk briefly about the dawn phenomenon, or when people are waking up in the morning with higher blood sugars than they would like, and then they think they should be having because they're not eating carbs. A lot of people think that this is due to cortisol, and specifically, technically speaking, it's not due to cortisol. It could be due to higher stress levels. It could be due to dysregulation of cortisol, but not necessarily a spike in cortisol. So cortisol is a hormone as well as insulin that pushes your blood sugar down. Stress can trigger other hormones like adrenaline, which can make your blood sugar spike. And so typically the dawn phenomenon is when there's an imbalance of one of the many hormones that are involved in your sleep and wake cycle. So human growth hormone can encourage the production of glucose in your bloodstream. Glucagon is another one that encourages the production of glucose into your bloodstream. Adrenaline, your thyroid hormones. And then again, insulin and cortisol help to bring it down. So in the morning, what happens with the dawn phenomenon is basically, it can often happen if someone eats a lot of carbs before bed, or if someone's not eating carbs, if they just eat a meal that's too much food, too much protein. And if this person has any level of insulin resistance, it can basically spill into the dawn phenomenon, which is when glucagon is responsible for making more glucose for your body. And I'm trying not to butcher this because there are a lot of different things involved. I could go down a rabbit hole, but I don't think I want to do that in this video. I just want to explain to people that it's not cortisol that's making your blood sugar spike. It's adrenaline or insulin resistance, and glucagon is telling your liver to produce more glucose via gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is also something that can be occurring if you're not eating enough. But usually if someone has a huge meal the night before and then they see a rise in their blood sugar, it's like turning your car off and then starting your car. And then, as soon as you start it, there's just this ton of fuel like kicking out of the pipe. That's kind of what it's like. There's a ton of glucose stored up that's ready to be used and released. And if there's an imbalance of insulin and cortisol and glucagon and adrenaline, or if human growth hormone isn't working the way that it should, then you might see the dawn phenomenon. So when people come to me and they say, my blood sugar is higher in the morning, but then it comes down throughout the morning, that's good. I think that in certain situations, this person might want to wait to eat your first meal. And in other situations, I would encourage the person to eat within 30 minutes of waking up, to eat a little bit of butter, which will offset that response. When people talk about this, they're usually just using the word cortisol. And it's technically not just cortisol. It's a lot of other things at work. Cortisol is anti-inflammatory. Cortisol helps to lower our blood sugar. It's right in its own place, which is why Addison's disease is a really scary thing, and you would think those people would be super chill, but they're not. I had Addison's and I was more stressed out than I've ever been in my life. It was horrible. You don't get the benefits of cortisol working properly. So I want you guys to be thinking about your adrenals and that there are so many other things involved. And what are you doing that could be contributing to this? On one hand, it could be that you're fasting too long and you're just going through gluconeogenesis, which can be really good in its own place, but if you're doing that every day, it can become pretty stressful for the body. Or it could be that you're eating too late at night, or it could be that you're eating more protein than fat, or you're eating more protein than you really need. And if you're seeing that spill into your blood sugar in the morning, then you might want to consider readjusting your macros. Another thing you could do is do some movement first thing in the morning. So even when I was sick, I would always, never skipped it, always move in the morning. For a while it was, squats, jump squats, go for a walk. But when I was really sick, it was just moving through some stretching and breathing, because I had that higher blood sugar for a long time. Even in my first year of healing, I knew that I was becoming more insulin sensitive as I healed. I was insulin resistant because I was so underweighted. My glucagon receptors were jacked up as well. I knew that. Even during that time, I just knew that it was going to be a matter of time that it would take before I would see that number change on the glucometer. And it was my New Year's resolution for me to see blood sugars under 90 when I woke up in the morning, and it worked. I prayed for it, and I really believe God heard my prayer and answered it. And it's been steady 80 to 85 since then. I haven't seen any fluctuation, no matter what I do. And so I know that insulin sensitivity was a huge part of that. I know that healing my glucagon receptors was a huge part of that. For someone else, it might be lowering the amount of adrenaline that you are dealing with in your life. Are you addicted to adrenaline? I was. I took Adderall for 13 years at high doses. I definitely was addicted to adrenaline. I was an adrenaline junkie. And doing excessive exercise is raising your adrenaline for sure. Drinking coffee all day, there are things that are exhausting your adrenals, and that will show you a higher blood sugar. So there has to be balance. Cortisol is a stress hormone, but so is adrenaline, and there are a lot of other things involved in this dawn phenomenon. So if you're dealing with it, then I would encourage you to look into the patterns of your life. You don't necessarily have to do blood work, and there are people who do track blood work on this. I could certainly look at it if you had it, but I don't really recommend labs because I think that we can really work with symptoms. It's been working up until this point. And so, are you eating a meal late at night? Are you over exercising? Are you pushing yourself too much? Do you have some insulin resistance that you're healing? Are you eating too many carbs? Are you eating too much protein? Are you eating enough fat? Are you sleeping through the night? A poor night of sleep can change all of these things as well. Your body is protecting you. It's doing what it needs to do with what it has. And so if you want that to change, then you have to give it something else. You have to give it different input for different feedback. And it's amazing that the body can be so clear about what we need and what it needs. So I hope that this helps someone. I know that I didn't go into the finer details. It is an awesome subject, but I just wanted to clear up the confusion that the dawn phenomenon is due to excess cortisol. There are a lot of different situations. And another situation that someone might not think about is, oh, well, I'm not obese, I'm not overweight, so I'm not insulin resistant. False. There are so many other things that can cause insulin resistance. I was 69 pounds and very insulin resistant, and my blood sugars were all over the place. And it was so troubling, and gaining healthy weight helped me get that back. Gaining healthy muscle helped me get that back. Healing my central nervous system, getting adrenaline under control and things like that. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below or comments. One of the best tips that I give for people, again, is the butter trick. Take a little bit of pure fat upon waking, just to send the signal to your body that it's in a supported place. Even that fat can help to raise serotonin, and it can help to lower cortisol. But cortisol is not necessarily the bad guy. I hope this makes sense. Hi, you guys. So my fall retreat is more than halfway booked. I know that you guys may have already heard of it. We're going to have a dream team of special guests. We have Ken Berry, Maria Emmerich, Kelly Hogan, Neisha Berry, and Lisa Wiedemann. So we're all going to be together. This is going to be invaluable fellowship, breakthroughs, learning, eating the highest quality, best, most delicious meats like Billy Doe meats, North Star bison. I'm going to be making my carnivore treats, carnivore brownies, carnivore carrot cake, carnivore ice cream. And then of course we'll have Maria with us, so she's going to do some cooking with us. It's going to be so awesome. For those of you who don't do sweeteners, we will be with Emily Harveau and Kelly Hogan as well. They don't do sweeteners. Lisa doesn't do sweeteners, so we're going to have options for everyone. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. So we're in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, October 11th through 16th. This is when the fall colors are peaking. The weather is phenomenal. If you're interested, please email me directly at rebekah@tailoredketo.health. I'll send you the information. I'll send you an invoice when you're ready to pay. The only way to reserve your spot is with payment, and then you'll be locked in. I hope to see you there.